stoic.
We'll get there. That'll be later in the episode.
Uh-oh.
Session, whatever.
I'm ready.
Welcome back to New Cammack. In the last session, the gang finally solved the mystery of River Erickson. It appears that a network of 5 occult rituals that have been cast in a circle around the neighborhood of Shedtown by an unknown person have had the effect of making vampires gain no nourishment from mortal blood while in that area. Prince Archibald and Augustyn both attempted to feed and discovered that the mortals that they fed on conveyed no sustenance, but when they went just outside of the boundary of this neighborhood, everything was normal for them. River...
Is that like a bonus experience level conclusion or deduction?
Give us a point. Just a little baby point. Just a little one.
Just say it solved a mystery. Sounds like an accomplishment.
When I was writing that, I anticipated that you would say exactly that. So how about I give you the teaser that maybe you're on the verge of another accomplishment that will get you a bonus point.
Yeah, boo.
Actually, I think okay. Bonus XP for everybody. 1 extra point. Because I did consider it last time, and I kind of forgot that I was considering it, and you kind of reminded me.
I am on the board with 1 point.
Okay. Let me put that down. You can't always bully me into extra points, but I think there's a strong argument for it this time. But I'll deny it on principle next time. River, who claimed...
Make a makeup call going the other way.
River, who claimed the neighborhood of Shedtown as his territory, documented through videos on his laptop his descent into paranoia and starvation-induced torpor as he lost control and drained several mortals to death, unaware of why he couldn't satisfy his hunger anymore. The gang then discovered that River's body was taken by the Medic brothers to Death's Sanctum, where some other vampire appears to have diablerized him. There were fang marks in his neck, and open to interpretation, but it was theorized that River then got diablerized. Most worrying is Augustyn and Archibald's theory that the person casting this starvation ritual has uncovered the secret of how to expand its range without limit, possibly to cover the entire planet, which would result in all vampires under its effect eventually falling into torpor and being rendered helpless against whatever remains. As Augustyn put it, the good news is we figured it out. The bad news is, fuck. We go now to Shedtown, where Darby and Excavo have just pulled up in their Escalade to pick up Augustyn and Archibald, who have not yet revealed their harrowing discovery. In the back of the vehicle is the decayed body of the quite dead River Erickson and the torpid body of Camp Moonlight's founder, Jeremiah Cotton, who's also found at Death Sanctum. We left off with the agenda of doing something with these bodies, such as delivering them to the Tremere, reporting your findings to Leslie Lane, and breaking the news to Darby that Archibald pledged to bury Onion Jack tonight in Darby's bed. Also, before the end of the night, Archibald said that he'd meet with the manager of Club Wonderland, and Darby said that he'd meet with Clarnk Manny across the street from it. And, Blake, you said there was also a journal entry to share.
I have a journal entry. It's been a while, but April 29th was a very long day. Dear Diary, nothing in life holds meaning anymore. I've had a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Jack is gone. Nothing feels the same. Even killing Death and seeing him diablerized by Darby can't alleviate my melancholy. What's the point of conquering Death if you can't be with the ones you love? Is there any point to it all? I wish I'd never been turned. I tried to cheer myself up to no avail. A few minutes after he died, we went to see my favorite band at the geology department. They're just about the only people in this backwoods town who have a scholastic bone in their bodies. But even Rock could not get my spirits up. His funeral was even more of a downer. I was crying.
Funerals are pretty down.
Thank you for liking my joke. I was crying so
6
much.
feet down.
I was crying so much that even Augustyn had a more effective eulogy than me, even though I have a specialization in oration, and I'm almost certain he suffers from aphasia.
Reading your stats in your diary.
Yes. It's very
This
meta.
many points.
It's very meta. My tears have run dry as the empty, unnourishing blood of Shedtown that drove that gangrel starving and mad. How ironic that a river, water, fluid, giver of life, could not be sated in his own domain. Tonight I sleep, but no rest will come to me. My spirit will remain weary, shall not slumber until the night you and I are reunited, my best friend, Onion Jack. In sorrow, Archibald Alvins.
Oh my god.
Okay, sunny day real estate. In sorrow. You literally start off by saying life has no meaning anymore. You are dead. We are all dead.
Death has no meaning anymore. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you.
Bon. Bravo.
I'm very sad. Okay.
Darby and Excavo pull up and stop at the sidewalk next to a very sad Archibald and however Augustyn feels at the moment.
Darby just really reading the room. Sup, fuckers?
We're just both like, hi.
With a
Get in the vehicle.
relatively serious, not serious, somber, I think. Somber, perplexed demeanor about himself. Augustyn, not Gallivants,
Oh, I love that show.
he gets in the car.
Saunters.
Canters.
Saunters, thank you.
Sachets.
Ambulates.
Propagates. Wafts.
Il marche.
You know what? I like that.
Il marche à la
Augustyn wafts into the car.
Archibald.
He gusts.
back
He's
flips,
gusted.
Triple back handsprings into the car.
We're on one today.
The two of you notice the bodies of River and Jeremiah Cotton.
We found some bodies.
No reaction.
So whose are these? Are these spoken for?
Do we not recognize who these are? There's River.
Yes, I do not recognize this man who I have never seen, who is also in an opaque body bag.
Have a look.
Oh, I think with Jeremiah Cotton's body, I described it, and before you guys did anything, I revealed that it was in a metagamey kind of way, that it was Jeremiah Cotton, and he was being like held on as like a possible extra character for like one of you to play if like one of your characters died.
And you described it as supple.
Is that
you
the
used
hippie?
the word supple many times. Yeah,
Supple.
it's the hippie.
Okay.
I'm going to say that
Nicole Leader
everyone would recognize that guy whose body is not decayed at all because he's just
No
in
issue
torpor.
with hippies. That's just how it was described.
Were there many portraits of him around
Yes,
Camp Moonlight?
exactly. Camp Moonlight would have had paintings and pictures all over the place, so you'd immediately recognize him as like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah, it's that hippie fucker. God, I hate them.
Kimber calls him a hippie, parentheses, derogatory.
A hippie.
Where are we taking our new deceased friends?
Did we get that far?
It would appear that we have gone from whatever past tense profession we had previously occupied and taken on a new bitten life as mail couriers, for there is quite a bit of news to articulate throughout the town.
No.
Shall we go to the chantry or the hippie camp first?
We have one more thing.
Ooh.
We have one more thing. We have the jar. We got the jar with the hand inside.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, retrieving.
The one that points out vampires in torpor.
Yeah, we have these vials. There is this foam that I've looked through, and yeah, the ingredients. We grabbed everything we could and put it in the empty bag.
To clarify, there wasn't a jar with a hand inside. The jar with the hand inside was still in the unmarked ambulance. You saw it, but you didn't pick it up. In Death Sanctum, there were like I don't think you did, but nothing would have stopped you from doing that, and nothing would stop you from doing that now. So if you want to say that you grabbed it, you have it. But that's specifically where you would have found it.
Our kind and benevolent GM.
So that is in Excava's possession? Is that right?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, all the items that we grabbed, we put in the other bag. We had an empty bag.
The body bag, yeah, it's full of all the stuff that we recovered.
Yep, I can list off those things.
Ingredients for more vials that Darby is wearing, a burner phone, the jar in hand, and then I just have that we grabbed the other body bags. Yeah.
Yep, you also have an oil lamp, a severed hand, a jar with gross liquid inside, and Darby grabbed an ornately designed golden dagger stained with blood.
All of the things that you would need.
And rolls of parchment with indecipherable scribblings on them.
Ah, crap. Look, this is a bunch of magic shit. I feel like all I do is drive back and forth this stupid wizard house. All right, let's go back again.
I want to say the chantry. That would be where we'd go.
Darby, I feel like we could pawn a bunch of this stuff off at that weird store.
Yeah, we got to find out what's worth keeping, what is how do we solve the end of the world or whatever. And then, hell yeah, let's sell the rest of this shit.
Put some of it on Vampire eBay.
V-Bay was right there.
Seriously, low-hanging
V-Bay.
I feel like V-Bay is it's a vampire dating site.
That's for a different thing that I don't want to talk about.
No, that's Rose Ferratu.
V-Date.
Rose Ferratu is very good.
O positive Cupid?
Oh my god.
That one's funnier written out.
Yeah.
O positive Cupid, more like, okay, Graham.
Okay, stupid. I'm just kidding.
Okay, onward to our next destination. Yes. The chantry, where we like to go to drop off all of our excess baggage.
So
I
all of you,
do that at my friend's house, but okay.
So you all head to the chantry, and Leslie Lane greets you at the door and says, "Why, hello, Augustyn. Did you go to Shedtown like I suggested?"
Invariably, my good man.
Oh, also, are you carrying these bodies like into the chantry?
I just assumed Darby's got them all, like just awkwardly struggling to carry everything because of poor balance, I guess. Because it's easy strength-wise for him to do it, but I think it's just like weird to carry all that stuff. So yeah, Darby's like stumbling by with a clattering of these presumably valuable magical artifacts. We found some wizard shit.
It's just like when Andy and I were in a band together. Everyone is carrying lots of things, and I am carrying one small thing.
The band?
I get it.
Joke.
That's just what the lead singer would think. I've been carrying all of you motherfuckers.
To carry this big heavy microphone.
Nothing without me. Augustyn, as you are talking to Leslie, you feel your Tremere spidey sense tingling a little bit. You feel like there is something inside the chantry that is like calling to you, or that you're drawn to it. Something that's not very far from the entrance, like maybe in the entrance room. But Leslie continues. What are
hello?
I guess regardless.
As if answering a phone call, I just yell, "Hello!" and walk right past Leslie into the chantry. Seeking to find whatever it is that is beckoning to me.
It doesn't, with you, like focus specifically on what is this thing that's making my magic sense tingle.
What is this feeling of sunny?
You are drawn to a table not far from the door, and there's a pile of mail, and there are a few packages on it, and you feel yourself, your attention drawn to a long cardboard box with a shipping label on it, like something that you'd mail, like a poster or something like that in.
I turned back to Leslie and produced the bloody tissue that I had borrowed from him in the last episode. My good man, our endeavors were quite fruitful at the behest of this magnificent utility unto me which you allowed a borrowance. Might I exchange it in return for the contents of that box? And I gesture at the long box with the shipping label while holding out his bloody tissue to return.
Leslie takes the tissue from you and says, I don't understand what... Oh, I'm very sorry. This box. Yes, we received something in the post from a clanmate of ours named... and he picks up the box and he reads the label. Mazengulf. I've never heard the name spoken out loud, so I don't... I assume it's something... He shows you the label, and it is from...
What is that?
Your sire... I think it's pronounced Mazengulf.
How do you say it?
Mazengulf.
Mazengulf.
I was playing a lot of Elder Scrolls.
Majin Buu.
Mazel tov to you as well.
Maserati.
It is addressed to the chantry and to you specifically. And he hands this to you.
Do I happen to know where the other medic brother is currently caged?
No, not specifically. Though presumably in the basement, if he is where Thurgood was previously imprisoned.
Okay.
Gonna have him open it in case it's booby-trapped.
No, I was gonna go down there and talk shit about how my master's way cooler than his. Because mine's still alive. But,
Wow.
Just flexing on the locked up NPC.
Dude, he was so braggadocious about, well, whatever, man. If you kill us, I'm just gonna go to my master and, tell him your plans and blah, blah, blah. You know, I feel like there's pent-up spite there, but I'm already kind of befuddling...
I feel like he already got his comeuppance when you were like, oh, yeah, no, we killed that guy. And he's just like...
Couldn't it just be like, oh, you gotta go to your master to get things figured out? You go cry to your dad?
I think I've befuddled Leslie enough. Might we investigate the internal contents of these boxes, my good man?
Why, yes, it is your box to open.
Fantastic. Emulating the esteemed Archibald with the same swiftness and grace that he mentally imagined cutting Onion Jack's brother in half with, I wield one of my Tontos and sever the top of the box clean off.
Are you serious?
A level of precision and expertise.
Is the box heavy enough to withstand that?
For a moment, it appears that the box wasn't cut at all, and then a big diagonally cut section of it suddenly separates and slides off to the floor.
magnificent. And in which, what do we find?
You have to roll to make sure you didn't cut anything.
It's covered in plot armor. It's the best packaging, man.
Well, you've
There's
destroyed
another
the
bear
gift that
cub.
I was giving for you.
And cut it diagonally.
Inside is a now headless bear cub. No. You open the box, and inside is a 4-foot-long shillelagh made from dense blackthorn wood, carved with ornate hermetic runes, and colored pitch black from being hung inside a chimney where an alchemical fire was kept burning for 5 years in order to coat it in a layer of soot imbued with green path magic. You recognize this weapon and lift it out of the box. You feel the weight of the heavy lead core in the knot at its top end. The last time you saw this was when it was taken from you the night you were apprehended and framed for attempting to kill your prince. You have now been reunited with your talisman.
Now, we all know what a shillelagh is, but for those, the audience at home...
For our fans.
Speak for yourself. I didn't even know how to spell it. I literally wrote out S-H-A space L-A-Y space L-E-E into Google to figure this out.
Shalalala, shalasha.
It's Irish, so it's spelled nonsensically. A shillelagh is it's a walking stick / club that is it's made to be a walking stick that you could also swing and use as like a mace. And it has a big wooden knot at the top of it that is sometimes, like in this case, filled with lead to make it even heavier. So it's like...
Isn't that like... You see that... Yeah. You see like lore photos, like not photos, but paintings of like St. Patrick knocking out the snakes and using the... Was that what he used? Was a shillelagh to...
I have no idea. But it's essentially it's mechanically like a mace.
At long last. I grab my semi-automatic rifle and I hand it to Leslie and proudly announce, I won't be requiring the use of this any further. And then grab my shillelagh. I try and gracefully slam it into the sling that the assault rifle was presumably in prior. Just to see if it fits. But yes, I am reunited with my canonical shillelagh that we all knew existed.
So, while you are holding this talisman, you get 2 additional dice for any green path rolls. You get 1 additional die for any ritual rolls. You have 1 additional die in the to-hit roll when you're using it as a weapon, and difficulty is increased by 1 for anyone who is targeting you with magic. Additionally, you can magically locate this if you ever separated from it by making a perception plus occult roll, difficulty 7.
Holy fuck, so I'm the Thor of plants. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Pretty much,
I love it.
yeah.
More like thorn.
Oh my god.
Augustyn, look here, down at the bottom of the box. It's an even bigger sledgehammer that hits even harder if I ever talk about Vladimir Lenin, it hits harder than with 3 more dice.
I just imagine you said that exactly as you said it just now.
To give a little bit of background,
and we're all trying to follow.
I'm just kidding.
Augustyn did buy the ritual that you need in order to make a talisman. However, all of your items, other than your wallets, were taken from you when you were first abducted and brought into this campaign. So his talisman was taken from him, and making a new one would require basically him spending half of his time for the next month or so. It was basically it was going to be impractical for Augustyn to ever make a new one. So it made sense to me to just, since he did have the ritual and he presumably already had the talisman to just give him the talisman that he would have already had. That's why he got a toy.
A toy.
Archie want toy as well. Toy for me.
Is that how Darby talks now?
No, I was talking about Archibald. He's
Let's
like, and also I get something, and I'm also the best.
Let's go to toys for us.
I have a chess game coming up.
I have a bit. Here's my special chessboard that,
I am the chess boy now.
I'm the one who
love it.
wins.
It's amazing.
The one who wins. I'm the one who knights.
I'm the one who castles.
Okay, so clearly holding back tears while reunited with my shillelagh. I do turn to Leslie and, despite the glory of this magnificent moment in time, I do regrettably have information that seems pertinent to deliver to such parties as yourself and any other denizen of this domicile.
Did you
The
just get an
Doom
accent?
Circle we discovered previously is not doom in the same sense that I traditionally understand it. However, it is doom in some other language of foreign nature. Metatextually, I explained to him what we found in Shedtown as far as the end of our comrade who tragically starved to death within the magical ritual circle.
Oh, is that what?
I speak Augustyn.
Leslie looks very concerned, and he says, well, thank you, Augustyn, for confirming my own observations. When I was in Shedtown, I tried to feed myself, and I also gained no nourishment from mortal blood. I tried several times, and I worried that I was under the effect of something that had personally targeted me, but I moved outside of the bounds of the neighborhood just as you did, and I found that the effect disappeared. So I think that we need to tell all of the kindred in the city that for the moment they cannot hunt in Shedtown. Come to think of it, no one but River would have been doing that to begin with because it is his territory. So I suppose it's a non-issue, but this is very concerning. Perhaps we should ask others in the city if they've experienced the same thing anywhere else, or if it's just localized to Shedtown.
Mayhaps that were the wisest choice of course of actions. Might I advise that we do not inform anybody of our comrade River's demise, as to maintain the parameters of his territory, as to discourage anyone from potentially attempting to feed within that domain without stirring a panic, so to speak.
That is a very good idea.
Cool. Magnificent. My comrades and I shall see to it on our end that any kindred that we encounter are well abreast of this situation. Might I ask that you utilize the resources at your disposal as well to distribute this information at your leisure?
Get on that phone tree.
I'm a bit afraid of causing a panic, but yes, you suggest that we tell others in the city that there is a magical effect on Shedtown that is preventing us from being able to feed there?
Indubitably, and with the discretion of not telling those who are on a need to not know known basis.
Okay.
Need to not know known.
My sincerest gratitude to you, friend. God, I want to ask for what the contents of his pockets again, but I'll wait until a better time.
Dear Augustyn, while I have you here, have you given any more thought to learning additional paths of thaumaturgy from us?
outside conversation question. Has my ability to decay stuff already manifested, or is that something that has to be like written into the story somehow?
You have that power now. You can do that.
Okay. And I have very few experience points presently, correct?
You just spent 12, but you have 19 experience points. That's enough for more thaumaturgy.
Holy
Wow.
fuck.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot. I feel like I that can't be right, because I spent like what, 20 to get the decay power?
You spent 12.
Oh, 12 was to get the decay
Yeah.
power.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, damn! Okay, very cool. Well then, indubitably, my good man, I have a mighty, ravenous hunger for that which is knowledge to seep into my dome space. Well, we have more pressing matters at immediate hand. Once I have the faintest minuscule instance of time with which to contemplate which path I would like to learn from such distinguished educators as yourself, I will gladly submit my thoughts on the matter. But in the meantime, I do infer that we have more prescient issues, such as distributing this information.
Of course. Well, the choice, of course, is yours regarding what you will train in. Now, I believe Darby said that you've brought magical loot to the chantry. What is this?
Darby just like crinkles it all out at Leslie's feet, like unceremoniously.
I love to investigate, but I have no idea what any of this means. I do cell phone.
Leslie starts picking at all of the stuff. Doesn't seem bothered at all that it's just in a pile on the floor. Stoops down and starts grabbing stuff. He picks up the golden dagger and looks at it very intently. And he sort of sets it aside from the pile. Picks up the severed hand and kind of wiggles it and tosses it back into the pile. And then he picks up rolls of parchment that just have scribblings on them, and he seems very interested in them, and he rolls them up very carefully and sets them aside. And he looks at everything else and just kind of nods and puts everything else back into the body bag and claps twice. And one of the revenants comes shuffling back into the room and grabs it's the short one grabs the body bag. Leslie directs him to pick up the other stuff that was separated and kind of motions for him to take the stuff down to the basement.
Mr. Lane, if I may.
Oh, you absolutely may.
I know it's pertinent to do something about Shedtown, but I worry that might not be enough. I don't think our enemies have just Shedtown in mind. I assume they would plan to envelop the city or worse.
Yes, I do recall Augustyn did call me quite frantically with his suspicion that a fractally growing ritual was taking place. I'm not sure if we could draw these conclusions immediately, but I think that it is worth gathering more information.
Based on the patterns of these rituals that have occurred to affect Shedtown, would it be possible through your Tremere knowledge to extrapolate the most likely spots for growing those that we could investigate?
I'm not sure that there is, because at the moment we essentially just have one point of information, and that is Shedtown, and it's hard to predict what the greater pattern might be. Perhaps if we had 2 or 3 points, then the rest of it will come into focus for us. But at the moment, I don't know what to tell you.
Right. Excavo, we have that spy network from the Nosferatu, the camera systems still, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps we can do some looking.
Oui. Now, with the ritual, there were 5 points, 5 rituals completed. Could we look at the commonalities between those 5 points and see why those points in particular were chosen? Not just that they made a shape.
In Shedtown, all the places where you saw the ritual being done, they were all, I think 4 of them were abandoned houses that were on the market, and then a 5th one was a house that seemed to be inhabited but was just empty at the time, if I'm remembering right. But they were all residential houses. They were all spaced out kind of evenly in a circle around the neighborhood. And the ritual took place in the basement of all of those houses. And all involved a dismembered animal that was cut into 5 parts that were each placed at the 5 points of a pentagram.
Mm-hmm.
Aha! I have an idea.
Could we look at housing data and look at abandoned houses
and
coordinate?
We have the R Pirates connection, the real estate
We do.
people from
real estate
Augustyn.
firm.
If we can use
Mm-hmm.
our inside
that
man,
data.
Augustyn, to find out, look at different neighborhoods, look at a map of where there are vacant homes, we could figure out other areas of town that would line up in a convenient, similar pattern.
Because given what we know so far, they're starting here. We don't know if they've started elsewhere. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Put it on the to-do list. The pirate people.
Augustyn, you're back. We want to use your connection with the real estate firm, the pirate ship, to look at where they could possibly be striking next. We realized that there were 5 abandoned houses in the shape, and we want to see if maybe the real estate firm tracks those houses and we can see where they will go next.
You're calling right now. Okay.
I can't. Are you making noise? I can't.
Ahoy, matey! This is Patty Buckmaster. What can I do for you?
Fondest greetings, Patty Buckmaster. It has been something of a hot minute, as it were, since our last encounter of mutual fruition. Might you have any interest in added labor? I hear you are down 1 staffer in the last week or so.
What have you heard? I have not heard this.
It would appear that our good friend that had been servicing the previous inquiry you had asked of us, that he has since gone on to another realm unbeknownst to the mortal mind. Might we...
Are you saying that the homeless fellow has died?
Invariably, of supernatural causes. He was spooked until he ceased to breathe.
By the ghosts. Is that what you're telling me?
By the spectral monsters who made themselves evident to him alone.
Okay.
Might we offer additional assistance? Were you to experience any additional anomalies amongst any of your nearby properties?
Look, I just need that one house to be cleared out of whatever it was that was making people think that it was haunted. I would imagine another homeless person or perhaps teenagers goofing around in there. I just need it ready to sell. Also, ghosts aren't real.
Oh, worry not. The original task is complete. We've even removed the fresh corpse from the premises. Not to worry, it is no longer haunted. Ghostbusters and what have you.
Very appreciated. Well, I believe that the deal that I originally struck with you was that I would gladly owe you a favor if you would take care of this task for me. But then you refused and pawned it off on your friend, who seems to have accomplished it in your stead. So I'm very sorry that I suppose I won't be owing your friend a favor, though you can see how that does work out in my favor.
My good man, I can assure you it is his postpartum sincerest wishes that such a favor were transferable to his beloved compatriots. It is in fact legally binding beyond the grave.
Okay.
The lawyer over here is telling me that is the wrong contractual argument to make. You've got some better ones, but that is not the good one.
I know that's not how it is in France.
I mean, Steve can whisper in Andy's ear about it.
Yeah, quick, Steve. Let me look at the text.
Yeah, you may mention to Mr. Buckmaster that you sent your designated agent, and that there was no stipulation in the contract that you couldn't designate a representative to do the investigation, and that's what sophisticated business people such as yourself always do in a situation like this.
They're
My
good.
good
Are you
man,
back?
I insist that I had sent my agent of designation to accomplish said agreed task, and nowhere within that paper binding did it state that I was incapable of doing so, while you were able to shuck such responsibilities as the part of the piece of paper that had your name on it.
Shucking responsibilities.
Question.
Answer.
Would you, Andy, consider this to be a lie that you were telling?
Ooh.
Out of character.
Is it a lie, though? It's true.
Yeah, that's my thought.
Welcome to being a lawyer, baby. It's a reasonable argument. You don't really have to believe it.
Lie.
Well, actually, you don't need to answer that question, because I believe you have either one or two specializations that apply here, and all you need is one. Go ahead and give me a manipulation plus subterfuge roll with a specialty.
First roll of the night.
And you got 8 dice for this.
Oh, hell yeah.
8 dice! Oh, this is going to be simple.
1 success. By virtue of your specialization, you got
need.
1 success on that. Okay, so Patty says, okay, let's say that you did facilitate this job being completed for me. So to show you my appreciation and hopefully get a continued relationship of cooperation, I will owe you an equally sized favor, sir.
Steve, how would I in legalese tell him that express to him that the size of the favor is literally equivalent to a mortal life?
I don't think that Patty Buckminster cares about human life. He only cares about realty. Oh, that too. Treasures.
Yar.
Okay, so I guess does anyone have any insight on how we would otherwise flex this here connection so that we can get the information we need about potential...
I would have had a strategy meeting before you dialed his phone number.
Yeah.
Okay, look, that is not
we would have
Augustyn's
tagged
way.
Thurgood into this whole
So,
thing.
well, I think we just volunteered to do more work for him. And then once we get into the real estate place, then we basically do a covert op and look at like their information, their forms.
So if he's not aware that 4 other homes had like dead animal parts in them and were used as a ritual, he's obviously not going to the homes.
Well,
Let's just...
it's not necessarily true that that ARR owns all the homes that have been chosen for the
They're
ritual
not the
protection.
only firm around here.
Right.
They did know about the gore. They thought that random people were going in and like killing animals or whatever.
I mean, we could just say, like, we'll tell people that there are dead animals in your home and there's blood everywhere.
But I feel like a condition of us getting
we'll
this
leave
favor,
a bad review.
I feel like the condition of getting this favor was that our original task was to
pictures.
clean the homes.
Because he didn't want anybody to know, right? He wanted discretion.
Patty Buckmaster was withholding the deed to the gun store until the homes were cleaned. And then he said, if you want to do something extra to get an extra favor from me, you can clear out this supposedly haunted house. And then you gave that to Onion Jack. ...
Like, we got it done.
So,
We got the things done.
okay.
Okay.
And he agrees
So-
with that argument. Barely.
So honestly,
He just didn't realize there was another member of our team.
so I guess, do we want to use this to volunteer to do office work at his office to have access to his records? Is that the way? Did we just roleplay our way into a day job?
You can just use the favor to ask for access to his records.
Yeah. My good man, I do believe we can settle this matter quite expediently. Might we exchange this
Were you going to say magnanimous?
I was trying to think of a word with M that meant big, bigly, but not magnanimous.
Not magnanimous.
So much.
Massive?
Monumental.
Thank you. Might I exchange this monumental favor as an inquiry into the records dwelling within your ship-shaped domicile? Nothing public, nothing
We're
heinous.
looking for abandoned houses. Just ask for that.
You want access to our to real estate records. Is that right?
Invariably, we have our own means of utilities within which we might benefit from abandoned domiciles throughout the lesser enjoyed components of this fantastic city. And we trust
if you want
that
cheap property to purchase, we have plenty of it for you. This is really a buyer's market right now.
might we peruse your browsings, as it were?
That sounds like a strong bad like phraseology right there.
Imagine Strongbad like saying what Augustyn says. Hey, thinking there might be like a magnanimous friend thing that we could plant tomatoes. I don't know.
Do you mind if I peruse your browsings?
I really hope the guy who does the voices, one of the Chapman brothers, is like on Cameo or something. If I could spend a few bucks to actually get that cameo, I think it'd be worth it. Well, Patty says, well, friend, you could just go to the American Realty Resource website and all of the homes that we are trying to sell are available for your perusal there.
Even the browsings?
I do greatly appreciate this information. Given that this is public, I do not believe it constitutes an exchange for the favor. I will reach out to you at such time that I believe I have found an equivalent exchange. My gratitude is everlasting. Thank you very much. Ha 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 ha! Click.
Okay. So you now know about an obvious website.
Which, Excavo, I very much inform you of this. Since you're our hacker, the ticky-tack bleep bloop, I'm in.
I like the idea of talking to the hacker so that they can search it on Google.
I go to Zillow.com. Do I need to hack?
I mean, given that American Realty Resource is the only realtor in New Cammack.
Oh, they're the only.
Oh, they are
Yeah.
the only
They're the
one. I was
only
wrong
one.
about that.
So they are the only one. Okay,
if you go to Zillow,
really
everything on Zillow for the area is also, it's just a mirror of what would be on the
got
ARR
Zillow,
website.
Got Redfin, got Truvia.
So if it's your intention to compile a list of all of a specific kind of property, that will take a little bit of time, but that's within your skill set. We just lose Blake.
Blakery. We can't hear you if you're talking.
And I can't sense you in my heart like I normally can.
You'll be in my heart.
What was the website he directed us to?
Let me just adjust my search filters for abandoned.
The website is
searching for.
The website is ARRRRRR, and there's a non-specific
one more time.
non-specific number of R's.
RR.
Like, after a certain point, it doesn't matter how many you put in. Like, they own all the domains. So, like, if you just hold down R for over 2 seconds, it will connect you to the correct website.
Now, look, I know R, so now I'm confused.
.ARR. They also bought the
.ARR.
generic top-level domain. And part of the money that they get, part of their income is selling domain names to other people with pirate-themed websites.
Rated.R. Movies.
Yes. Okay, so you're going through that information right now, and what specifically are you looking for?
I want to look for nearby cities that have abandoned houses, and they happen to be in this similar shape. Really just looking up, okay, here are all the lists of abandoned houses, zooming out, and then trying to triangulate or pentagulate.
Okay. I think you successfully
Triangulate?
invented a word.
Penticulate?
It's not a triangle, it is pentagram.
Oh, penticulate.
So not in New Cammack,
Penticulate.
but in like the
Yes,
the
I'm
state
assuming
or-
that they would be looking at other cities, not just here. And also just New Cammack too, Shredtown being separate from there, if it's a thing.
Okay.
Maybe
So
they just go straight out.
So my interpretation is you're looking at the larger area that surrounds New Cammack, and you're looking at like the shape that the 5 houses that you found that have the
Yes.
ritual done to them. If
But
that shape
also-
is repeated anywhere outside of New Cammack
Yeah.
in this region, in
Oh, I
And
was
also
thinking.
just
I was
even
thinking
if
looking
there are-
in here too.
I was also thinking about Shedtown being one of the 5 points and finding 4 other cities, right? And then thinking bigger and bigger from there.
because that is a very like computationally complex thing that you're doing, which you would not do manually. You would write a script to like churn through the data and like come up
Yeah,
with
I would
results
probably
for
use
you.
some Python to do that.
Python's not a bad choice. You can give me a roll to make a script that will come up with an answer
roll.
for you, and the answer will be forthcoming once it's done, which will be at least like in the next session. So,
What do I roll?
please give me an
skills?
intelligence plus computer roll. And because your intelligence specialization is analysis, I think that applies here. So roll 8 dice, and you can use your specialty.
Oh, that was a bad roll overall.
That's 3 successes.
There's some 6s, some 7s.
Yeah, that's 3 successes. Okay, so you feel pretty confident in the script that you wrote, and you start it, and it's already pulling data from like public real estate APIs and compiling it and like geolocating everything and trying to match it within a certain tolerance to like the shape of the addresses in Shedtown. But it's going to take a little while to give you to finish with the process, and you don't know how long it'll take, but it's probably going to be less than 24 hours.
This is very much data science. I don't know how long it's going to take.
I feel like this is Excavo's like one of the first big like cool hacker moments.
Well, one of. And some cool stuff.
There are some others, but I feel like this is the one that I think is the neatest.
I can look at any surveillance camera in the city.
True, that was cool too.
A lot of them, anyway. So I believe you're still in the Chantry. And Leslie then asks Augustyn, who are in these body bags that you brought to us?
They are certainly formerly human. That's much I can absolutely assure you. Stares over at Darby. You're holding you're holding the things.
Oh
yeah, Augustyn and I.
Darby starts
don't
like
know
flopping the body around like puppetry,
like getting your missed puppet action.
Like he does a who me with the
Yes, you.
You notice that they're very different characteristics to the 2 body bags that Darby has. One of them has a fully intact like body, like you would expect, and the other one seems to be falling apart and just turning into like a pile just at one end of the body bag.
Yeah.
So Leslie gestures to Darby and says, "Who are in these bags? Are these a gift?"
Yeah, well, yeah, this one, and Darby explains like who they are. Like this one's pretty far gone, and he like dumps out the viscera on the right on the ground. I'm not sure what kind of wizard shit you can do with this one, but good luck. This other one's in pretty good shape.
Huh. Well, I suppose this one is River. If I followed your story correctly, and afraid all we can do is memorialize him, which we will. We will collect his remains and see that they be honored. This other one, yes, this appears to be. He called himself Brother Jeremiah Cotton. It's my understanding that he voluntarily entered torpor so as to not break the masquerade after being shot in front of onlookers. And I don't know if he would want to be woken from his slumber. I think the safest assumption is no, that he would like to continue slumbering, and we can continue to keep him here where he will be safe. I suppose it is also an option to inter him back at Camp Moonlight, where I suppose his former not cultists are quite upset about his absence, but I leave that up to all of you.
Man, I really don't want to go back there.
There is an argument for not going back there, because if his body is there at Camp Moonlight, where a mortal might be able to discover it and investigate it, that could potentially breach the masquerade. Also, if his body is exposed to sunlight, it will disintegrate, and that's quite a sad outcome for him and would also break the masquerade. So the safest place for his body would be right here.
Let's keep it right here. You make a great case, Leslie.
So I guess we just have to tell them in person without the body, and they'll have to take our word for it.
Hey, you think you could got the manufacturing capability to mass produce these bad boys? And so he's showing off his necklace and pointing to the equipment, the pieces of necklace.
So Leslie approaches Darby and grabs the golden lotus amulet and looks at it. Says, "Oh, this appears to be enchanted with some sort of necromantic magic. Have you noticed any effect since you put it on? I assume you took it from the Horseman Death."
Well, everybody looks deader than usual, but I didn't necessarily think that was related to this. And Darby takes it off and tries to see if the death sight that he got from Diablerie is affected by the necklace at all, but I presume it is not.
Unaffected.
Yeah, but I don't think that's this thing. Just the world's like deader now. Anyway, so no. What kind of necromantic powers you got?
Oh, we have none whatsoever. We do not dabble in those arts. But
oh yeah, same. Yeah, that's what I meant to say as well. Yeah, my bad.
You said that the world appears deader to you. How long has this been happening? And he looks very concerned and interested in what you said.
He's quite money-grubbing. He means financially. It looks indebted to him. He's quite the egomaniac, as it were.
Perhaps
We've
has something
also
to do with
watched
this
a
being
lot of
gold.
Walking Dead together, so it just kind of looks... He just has that on the brain.
Big ego,
Okay,
tiny
well,
brain.
If you do experience any strange phenomena, you're welcome to consult with us.
Darby looks like
firewise?
he's like thinking this over and like pressing his tongue against the inside of his mouth, and it like looks really gross and dramatic because he's got like the pointy tongue thing. So he's just like thinking like a normal person, but he's just got like a super creepy snake tongue thing going on inside his mouth. He's like, you know what? Never mind. I'm all right, and then just walks away.
Do they believe us?
We don't know.
Perception check. Does Leslie believe that nothing supernatural has happened to any of you since you encountered death? He doesn't appear to be suspicious at all.
Really?
No, he's like,
Thought we had to roll for that one.
Yeah.
So Leslie says, well, is there any other way that we could be of service to you?
Darby starts giggling.
Don't mind him. You've done plenty enough for us, Leslie. Thank you, as always, for letting us barge in here and basically just
dump all our shit. Hey,
yeah,
send us a bill.
Oh, none necessary. We will appreciate the opportunity to analyze these artifacts. And congratulations once again for apparently slaying your second horseman of the apocalypse. I suppose there are only 2 more left before we can consider your quest.
Darby just fully accepts the congratulations as if he did it all by himself. He's like, thank you, finally. Yes, I have killed 2 of them on my own. Not a lot of help from these sad sacks behind me, but 2 for 2. 2 notches on the old belt. I'm going for a clean sweep.
Well, congratulations to our Sheriff Darby.
And Darby goes up for a high five. I don't know how
Leslie looks at it and he looks away for a second, like he's trying to remember, and he goes, oh yes. And he sort of kind of awkwardly, lightly high fives you.
Darby comes in with far too much velocity and just, I mean, he's definitely not trying to hurt him, but I think it was a terrible high five that may have knocked him off balance.
You absolutely knock this frail, elderly-looking man off balance, but he recognizes the spirit in which the high five was delivered, and he smiles. He's
great.
Like,
excellent.
yes, huzzah!
Yeah, exactly. All right. Where to now, boss?
So as you
I
were
believe.
lingering, you hear the thundering footsteps of the tall revenant somewhere in the house, stomping around and going, "Are those guys back? Have they brought our back signal back? I want that." And you have the opportunity to escape before encountering this tall, weird, scary woman.
Batman. Isn't that her name?
They are all named Batman, yes.
They are all named Batman.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I take the opportunity to scamper right on out.
I am kind
Yeah.
of looking back about to wave and engage, but then they pull me along and I oh my gosh, it's Batman.
No, I also leave.
Oh wait, Darby and I had dates at the bars, right?
That is correct, yes.
Hitting the
Dates at the
bars for the
bars.
second night in a row.
Woo!
We have a problem.
You guys splitting up, or are Augustyn and Excavo also...
Yeah, where are we going next?
Well, it'll be Club Wonderland.
Darby has definitely been I think under his breath, to himself, complaining about Clarnk all day, or all night, I guess.
Clarnk disengaged him.
Yeah, you remember that pussy that wouldn't even, that got. I got him, but I gotta talk to him again. Just Darby's still confused and upset. So I got to see a man about a horse.
Yeah, so I think we would head that way, and then we can decide if we're accompanying each other to there.
Yeah,
or
I
if
think
we're
I
splitting
head back to Club Wonderland and give everybody the opportunity to get out, get in some of our other cars, and go about their business.
I think I'm going to go in and talk to Marsha.
So you walk into Club Wonderland, and it is... What day of the week is this? This is...
Thursday? Friday?
Thursday. Yeah, this is after midnight on Thursday. So you walk into Club Wonderland, and you see at a table going over some paperwork, Marsha Dalton, the very constantly stressed out manager of Club Wonderland.
Who is with me on this one? Is it all of us or
Darby's
just
going
me?
across the street.
Yeah.
Darby's
So-
going to meet with
No,
Clarnk.
I would be curious what you would say to Marsha.
Okay.
I would go with
That's
you.
what I was thinking. I was thinking that Excavo would probably come with me and get in on businessy stuff. And I thought it would be fun for Augustyn to go with Darby if he wants, just because of the whole coin thing.
To see the
Your
results
dreams
of
have come
his
true.
Devil's Touch ritual.
I'm very, very curious as to the outcomes of this. I
Okay.
follow Darby. I'm much to Darby's chagrin.
Okay, so I go up to Marsha. I kind of slide into the booth across from her. I say, Marsha, I'm so sorry it's taken us so long to sit down and finally have a meeting. Very unprofessional of me, honestly, but it's been, there have been some adjustments as we've been getting settled into Darby Manor.
She says, Archibald, honestly, it's okay. I know, this change of ownership just happened, and there's really no rush. If you have ideas for big changes for the club, I just don't want those sprung on me all of a sudden with me and our staff not having time to prepare for that. So you can take all the time you want. I can manage a bar, that's fine. But give us a heads up if you are planning on making any radical changes.
Well, you're doing a great job, as the second in command. Yeah, I've actually gotten pretty used to what's going on around here.
Who is the second? I'm the second in command? She asks you.
No.
Excavo, second in command.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
Excavo is my second in command.
Oh, okay. So you
Like,
are.
I
you
do
are
not
first in
explain.
command.
I let him explain.
I am first in command. Yes.
I was. told that
I don't
all
really
four of
like
you-
being first in
Sure,
command.
yes, that is what we say, yes.
Okay, well, I can go to you directly for anything. I was told originally that all four of you were going to be the new owners, but yeah, I can regard you as being like the primary owner. That's fine. With me.
Thank you.
And Scavo as being the secondary owner.
Is there anything about the business or the books that we should know about? Obviously, the former owner left in somewhat of a hurry, so we still have a lot about our business to learn.
Well, it's hard for me to sum it up. We've had business declining, but we're still profitable. Brothers opening up across the street has taken some of our clientele away, but not a lot. We are kind of a niche venue. They don't have live music over there. We do over here. There's been suggestions of opening this place up as being an all ages club, so we could potentially get more ticket revenue, hosting like college bands. But of course, whenever we do that, we get less alcohol sales, which really cuts into our profit. But strengthens our connection to the community. So there are a lot of pros and cons. I think the biggest issue is that we are. I would say understaffed with security. Occasionally there have been fights. There's been oddly there's been a biker gang and a roller derby team that have been getting into frequent scuffles. We've been debating just not allowing bikers or roller derby people in here. There's some sort of I think trademark dispute or something like that. Like two groups both claiming the name the Unholy Rollers locally, something I don't know much about, but they get into fights here of all places, and we have had inadequate security to break up fights between bikers and roller derby women. Sorry.
Is there a typical time of the week that these folks like to come in?
Well, usually on the weekend, but get kind of randomly for the most part.
If you can either get me contact information or give me a call if they show up again, I think I know just the guy to take care of this problem.
Okay. If there's an incident, I will give you a call and let you know immediately.
Thank you. Let's just say there is a new sheriff in town.
Wait, what?
You're not here.
I'm the sheriff.
I know.
I'm the sheriff. You have a different title.
What?
We'll see.
So, Marsha, as regarding business decisions, you know this community better than us new arrivals do. I'd like to yield more of that responsibility to you, and hopefully with perhaps a greater share in the profits and the fruits of your labor that you've worked so hard to earn.
Well, I would not refuse a raise.
Great. How do you feel about unionizing your workplace?
Conflicted, to be honest. It's hard not to see that. I mean, I am supportive of the idea of it in spirit, but it's hard not to see it as just a net negative for us trying to keep the business afloat. I think sometimes workers, when they demand certain things, they don't fully appreciate how that affects the bottom line. It makes it less likely for the business to succeed and survive and continue to be able to employ them. Does that make sense?
But keep in mind also the perspective of these workers. The business wouldn't achieve anything if it weren't for the hard work of people like you and your colleagues, after all.
That's fair.
And, I mean, with some owner like me who's just able to, fire someone on the spot willy-nilly, the only real way you have of advocating for yourselves in the workplace is to band together and bargain together for those various stipulations.
Are you suggesting that we encourage the workers to unionize?
Well, including yourself,
yes,
including
he is very much suggesting
me,
that.
Something like a workers' cooperative.
Well, I suppose if we bring up the idea to the workers, then that would help them feel like we're on the same side.
I mean, I think we should, as fellow laborers. Well, I mean, I'm not really doing much of the labor. I'd like that to change. I'd like to pick up maybe a shift or two.
Well, every night at 3 a.m. it's last call, and we gotta mop and vacuum everything, and many hands make light work. So you're welcome to join us and help us close up faster. Really, any night.
I'll get to know some of our fellow staff here.
I just got Darby's background.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, you just got it? Okay.
Sure, Jen.
Well, Marcia, again, let me know if the unholy rollers, either of them, show up, and I'll see you soon. Let me know if there's anything that we need to know about the business. Oh, also, I will be here on Friday for a big chess game. I'm inviting a special guest Saturday. I will be having a special guest in the evening, but nothing to worry about on your end. We'll take care of everything.
Well, if you'd like, I could reserve a table for you for that, overlooking the dance floor.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Pleasure doing business with you. This seems like a good time to transition to the other scene.
And she says, and if you'd like any input into any events that we're booking or drink specials or policies or anything like that, do let us know.
Jazz and classical might be nice to get in there. Though I do like a little bit of rock from time to time.
Rock.
There's rock about rocks. Get it?
Yes.
So, across the street, Darby and Augustyn walk into the bar called Brothers. And there may be like a couple dozen people scattered around the bar. And it didn't take long to find Clark Manny alone at a table in the far corner of the bar with a mug of beer around his hands that he's just staring into, that he doesn't seem to have drank any of. Just sitting there, and he doesn't notice your entrance.
Yeah, I think Darby, walks up to him and sits down. Like, you had mentioned you wanted me to come back, explain some stuff to you. Where's your running crew, Clarnk?
Oh, hey, brothers, good to see you again. Yeah, I don't know. We might not be hanging out anymore. Had a kind of a falling out.
Oh, they got sick of your shit too, huh?
You could say that. Like we were pretty tight, but yeah, I don't know. Like their feelings changed. I don't. You'd have to ask them. All of a sudden they weren't inviting me to stuff. Didn't want to hang out with me.
Who's they, Chief? Which people?
My fraternity bros.
All of them? 100%?
yeah, come to think of it, like everybody I was hanging out with, and also like classmates and my my advisor for my dissertation, and my girlfriend and I are taking a break. It's been it's been a bit of a rough day.
Hey, you ever think that maybe the asshole is you?
You know, yeah, that's been the conclusion that I've been coming to. I've been doing some soul searching and trying to figure out what I've been doing to drive people away, and I don't know what it is, but I think giving them space and not interrogating them about why they're turned off by me is maybe the right way to go.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're gonna learn a lot like that.
My good man, I do believe there is.
Oh, what? Augustyn just interrupts.
It's
okay.
very startling. He didn't even notice that Augustyn was there.
I do believe there is lung butter in your beer, and I just kind of like, with my hand, just kind of scoop what I perceive to be a loogie out of the foam of his beer, and slock it on the floor.
Was there anything in it?
I'm just going to assume that there was spit in his beer because it doesn't discriminate who hates him. But even if there wasn't...
Okay. You find a used Band-Aid floating in the beer, hidden by the foam, and you pull it out. And you notice at that moment a couple people at the bar be like, fuck that guy.
It just muted all your laughs. You're laughing so loud.
Yeah, I just schlock the foam and Band-Aid on the ground and let Darby go back to what he was saying.
You seemed like you had it all figured out last night, and I came back to talk to you because I thought you might have some answers, friend, but I gotta say, seeing you today, you don't have a damn thing figured out. You got less figured out than I do.
I can't argue with that, King. It's gonna take some time for me to figure out how to get back on my feet. Figure out what went wrong. I've been trying to be patient with people, to treat people kindly, to do what I can for those around me who seem to be in need, and that doesn't seem to be the answer. You know, I used to be a real asshole, a real piece of shit, and you know, I think I had more friends when I was, you know, confrontational and impatient and brash, and I don't think I treated women very respectfully, and I don't know, maybe this experiment I've been doing over this last couple of semesters was stupid. Maybe I need to go back to, you know, just being a dick again. But that, I don't know, if that's what's in my heart, if that's what I need to be, then maybe fate has determined that's what's gonna happen with Clarnk Manny.
And Darby just looks at him disgusted. Not because he's given up, and he's just like, I thought you were strong, man. Not a lot of people could take a hit from me. I was pretty impressed, but you had one shitty day and you're ready to just give up on everything you trying to build for yourself. That's pathetic. I'm gonna leave you sitting here with your rotten, bloody beer and let you continue to wallow, because this is truly disgusting. I'll tell you what, you inspired one person today to be better than you. And Darby turns around and walks away.
Wow.
Augustyn sees Clarnk's head just fall into his hands and hears him start softly sobbing.
Just Darby hit him with the "I'm just disappointed" and just like walked out. Brutal. So yeah, it's just Augustyn and crying Clarnk. So you did it, man. You have wrecked this guy. Mission accomplished.
You feel good about yourself?
I hope you're happy.
You know, this isn't.
Feel really good?
I thought I'd feel differently, but I do feel pretty fucking atrocious for this non-existent character.
He says, "I failed defending my dissertation. I worked on it for 1.5 years, and they just tore it apart like it was nothing. Maybe it was a dumb dissertation. It was about the impact of fifth wave feminism on hedge fund management. I might change, but maybe it was wrong to get an MBA. I don't know." My advisors spit on me. They made a big show of taking my dissertation from my hands and lighting it on fire, and people applauded.
Okay. So IRL, Augustyn is visibly stifling laughter.
Oh no.
And cheerfully patting him on the back.
No!
My good man, we all have tragically cloudy days, but don't you know that plants flourish in shitty weather? Might I borrow your pocket change? I need to make a collect call.
This dude is like billions of dollars, and he's gonna be like,
he's
I gotta borrow some
he's
coins.
trying to get the penny back from him. He's trying to uncurse him.
Clarnk.
You watch, he threw the like. Don't people throw pennies away now?
Clarnk, just absolutely crestfallen, reaches into his pocket and without even looking at you, just drops his wallet on the table, and it lands with like a heavy thud, and you could hear that it has change in it.
Shit, there's no way for me to know which penny is the penny, is there?
You would know which penny is your penny. I think it has
Okay.
like a little smear of, you'd recognize the little smear of like blood that you put on it.
Okay, I rummage through all of his change and like dislodge all of his items from his wallet. I extract my penny and then leave the rest of the contents on the table just kind of scattered. Another pat on the back, and I produce a tomato for him and thank him for the ability to make a collect call. Leave the tomato on the table in front of him, just kind of push it his way.
He's looking very clearly at the single penny that you took from him for a collect call, and looking at the tomato too. He's like, I'm so confused. And then tears streaming down his face. He just shrugs and starts eating the tomato.
You're already starting to get it, my good man. All in due time. And
Thank you. I haven't eaten all day. I keep going to the food courts, but bullies keep stealing my food like we're in elementary school. I don't understand it.
I'm glad. See, I fed him.
It's just been a very weird day.
Be like a plant, my fond Clarnk. Be like a plant. And I give him one more cheerful pat on the back, and I gallivant out of the building.
The last thing you hear him say is, I think that guy was right. Maybe I do deserve to just be put in the ground.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
You seem to think that was his takeaway from what you told him.
All right. Well, hey, I gave him encouraging words. If he passes, I didn't make him do it.
Jesus. If your humanity were higher, this would be worth a degeneration roll, but it's not. So this is totally fine for a vampire with humanity
fine.
of 6 to do. Potentially.
It's fine.
Yeah. Just
Rest assured-
destroy
You
this
don't feel so
person's
good.
life.
Rest assured, I feel pretty weird about it in real life, but I've got to commit to the bit. Oh.
I guess we're all just. I'm at least Excavo's curious why you would even do that in the first place. Just for fun? You're just having fun? Is that fun for you?
You know, it's one of the bits of arcane knowledge that is available to Augustyn that, you know, he learned because he's studious and curious, but he's never quite had an application for, and it graced his curious mind to test the applications of this knowledge.
The ritual.
It was an experiment, you see.
The wrong place at the wrong time, I guess.
And I've got a control group. Now I've got somebody that I sympathize for and somebody I also don't sympathize for. Eventually I'll see Onion Jack's brother.
Yes, and that could be... Onion Jack's funeral could be what comes next, but do we think this is a good point to break for the next session?
I think so.
I'm about to break.
Dope. Well, that is the end of session 37. And now you guys have experience to spend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, I have 3 whole points.
You do!
I'll talk to you while I'm out of town, and we'll hash out which thaumaturgical path I'm going to pursue.
Sure. There's a bunch of new homebrewed green path stuff that is available. Also, you could train at the Chantry, and there were a bunch of paths you could learn from the people there. Yeah, so we can chat about that. Darby, you have 8 points, and I think you were thinking about saving up for either a 5th point of dexterity or a 6th point of strength.
Yes. Yeah, and just so I'm on the right page here, that would be 16 points for the dex or 20 points for the strength.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I'm saving up. Saving up for something silly.
Okay, and Excavo, you have 3 points, and that can be spent on a new ability.
I think I'm gonna get my first point in performance.
Okay,
Have any
what
there?
sort of performance are you thinking
up
of?
A little bit, but
You have to like pick a type of performance.
I think traditionally, yeah, like even
type.
yeah, even if you don't qualify for a specialization yet, with performance, you're supposed to like vaguely describe like what, because performance is like a wide range of like, it could be spoken word or dance or singing or whatever, just to give it flavor.
I was thinking it kind of goes hand in hand with my impeccable lies type of thing, where like
So,
it's like a tool
acting?
to convince, to persuade, like oration. Yeah.
Well, any roles where you're trying to do like persuasion and stuff like that would probably be using different skills, I think, like subterfuge or leadership or intimidation or possibly empathy. A performance would come into play more if you were trying to like impress
someone,
or distract or something like that. Like you can still get performance, but
Distract would be a good example, as I made Darby believe that there weren't actually snakes. There wasn't actually a snake.
I mean, like, to use your performance role for that, though, you would have to be like, I'm pantomiming something and trying to get Darby's attention because I'm so good at miming that I'm distracting and therefore, you know what I mean? And like, you'd have to use the performance itself.
No.
you already have 4 dots in subterfuge, so anything involving
I know, that's
lying,
what I mean. I'm like...
like any roles involving lying would not be improved by performance unless you get like 5 dots of performance and make an argument.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll save him. I don't really know what I want to do.
Okay. Cool. Well, any feedback about how tonight's session went?
No, I kind of like these more open-ended ones where we don't necessarily know exactly what's going to happen at the beginning. It's kind of fun.
I do. I like
less like railroady.
I want to echo the sentiment that I think we tagged on. It was either last session or the session prior. That it strikes a good balance of when we've selected a track. You do a phenomenal job of guiding us through that track with vivid scenery and detail. And then the counter into that balance is an open-ended session like this where we kind of poke around the world and explore our impact on it a bit more. I think it's a wonderful balance, man. I like them both, but for different reasons.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be... you're going to be like boxed in less for a little while, and you're going to have a chance to like spend your time pursuing your own individual goals before something like forces you to respond to a crisis. And this could give Augustyn an opportunity to like make another Splinter Servant if he wants to, or
I would love that,
or whatever. Uh-oh, indeed.
About to get real.
And there's a bunch of other like side quests that you can pursue. So yeah, I think I'm going to continue starting each session with like the intro and then reminding us what like agenda items were suggested recently. But those, of course, will be like you can ignore them or you can take them up. It's totally your choice.
By the way,
yeah, the biker and the roller derby theme.
Maybe.
Mabes.
I am curious. So when you sent us the listing of inventory items, I know some of the stuff in my inventory from that curiosities shop or curio shop was still yet to be identified. I know we figured out what the flask was. I know we figured out the repair wand. We'll never know what the Ouija board was for.
It's thrown into traffic immediately. just because.
I mean,
it seemed boring.
We may eventually find it, and that's how we communicate with Onion Jack. I don't know, but
if it was meant to be, you will find it again.
Correct. But am I supposed to know I have 3 invisibility potions on me?
I think that. Oh, you mean like they weren't explicitly called that?
Yeah,
when you got them, but they're called that in the item document that you all have a link to.
Yeah, I didn't remember acquiring 3 invisibility potions, but that's definitely in my inventory.
I think that they were not like the proprietor of the magic shop didn't be like, these are invisibility potions. It's like it's a canister that has like 3 glass orb type like potion bottles in it. And on the outside of the canister is a drawing that is a little complicated, but does definitely show like a person and then drinking it and then something, and then that person's outline is like dotted. And that's the universal symbol for being invisible. So
a perforation potion, I see.
There are some specifics to it that make it like not just a straightforward invisibility potion, but you do gather that like the end result is this potion ... you end up being invisible.
Okay.
That's all you get from just like glancing at it and throwing it in your I assume Augustyn has like major cargo pants and some crazy jacket just full of pockets where he's just loading up all of these items. And he looks ridiculous, but that's his vibe.
To find any of the clothing I wear, all you have to do is go on Amazon and type in tactical, and then the suit of clothing you would like to purchase.
Yeah. Quite familiar.
Cool. All right, I appreciate the clarification. I didn't know if I'd accidentally stumbled into like, ooh, I didn't know I had this. But, awesome.
No, you could intuit that they're intended to be potions of invisibility.
Okay, cool.
Well, anything else before we call tonight?
How are you feeling about the campaign? A lot of our opinions.
I feel pretty great. I've been a little worried that you guys might be antsy to find like a resolution for the whole campaign, so it doesn't feel like it's going on forever. So I'd like to have it in my mind, at least, like ways to fast track this to a conclusion. But I don't want that to counterbalance, like, I don't want that to interfere with your ability to like pursue what you are most interested in and like your own like personal goals and projects and things like that. But also I don't want you guys to feel like this is a never ending campaign, because there is actually an end planned for it.
Well, as somebody who's been in a D&D campaign for at least 5 years now, I do like that it just keeps, 5 whole years. What our DM has done is he has created story arcs that kind of blend into one another, and each story arc focuses on one of us characters. So, like, I had a story arc. A couple of our other characters have had story arcs, and like they all kind of tie into like a bigger goal in some way. Like we don't like there's no idea what the actual ending is gonna be, but it's more about like the journey and like learning more about each of our characters and going into our backstories and stuff like that. So I mean, again, as someone who's been in a campaign for a long time, like you don't need to worry about having us get to a certain point right away. Like, that's cool, yeah.
Well, sure. I mean, I think I know that you have a story that you are trying to tell, that was the inciting event for creating this. But I think to Kimber's point, like, we're having fun. You don't need to like hurry this along on our account. Like the participate, it's much harder for you to do this than it is for us to participate. And I think when we get to a point where we've exhausted the initial campaign, if we all decide like, hey, this is fun, maybe there's another story to tell within New Cammack or a different direction we could go. I mean, I'd reckon we just give you some time to think through what you would want that to be, if you would want that to be. We cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, don't worry about the pacing. Like, the pacing's totally fine.
Okay, cool. That's reassuring.
And if we wanted to just like grind out the main quest, like we had so much opportunity to just say that to you or to like do that as a group. But I think, and I don't want to speak for all of us, but it feels like we're more trying to complete all the content. We want to do all the side quests. We want to see whatever fun idea you had and get out there into the weird nooks and crannies of New Cammack that you've got planned and see it all. So that's my philosophy anyway, and I think that's how the game has unfolded so far. So I think don't worry about it. And if you've got weird side stuff that is compelling to you in the moment versus your overplot, I think don't hesitate to focus on that for a while.
There's so much weird side stuff that like I think is okay if it's never encountered and it's just not used. But like, yeah, I think maybe like a third of New Cammack has actually been like introduced fully and explored at this point. And that's not even counting.
That's why I think. That's why I think it's fertile ground for potentially an additional campaign or like a whole other big story where you could potentially weave in some of that. Like, you've done so much world building work in New Cammack that it's more fertile than just this one goal of these, 4 big bads and maybe a bigger bad. And even maybe these 4 characters that we're playing right now. I mean, we could do something completely different within the world of New Cammack, and it would still be fun.
Indeed.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Dope. Well, I love you
Yeah,
guys.
Awesome
bits.
sesh.
Yeah.
Later, y'all.
Love you guys.
See you
Have a
next
good
time.
night.